Burrell was frequently pushed by Michael Jordan in his final season with the Bulls. Some have thought Jordan's tactics were harsh, but apparently Burrell never thought so. Burrell told USA Today, quote, "I never took it as him being cruel or him being evil. People talk junk to each other playing basketball all the time. He never physically touched me. So he said some words. Why should words hurt me? I'm an adult. I'm learning every time I step on the court. I'm being pushed like I've never been pushed before. I needed that." So, Shannon, what is your reaction to now hearing Burrell thought of everything?
That explains why Scotty Burrell lasted as long as he did in the NFL, because he's not built with the right stuff. There has to be a limit on what someone can say to you, do to you, and you not respond. That explains it. Now, for me, I love talking junk, but there's a line that you don't cross. I like to think I was one of the great trash talkers in NFL history. But there are lines that you don't cross. And, you know, I think Jordan went over that line on several occasions. Well, Scotty Burrell, hey, he didn't think so. So, Skip, I'm not telling someone how they should feel. You took it, you was there. But he, again, for him, I got a ring out of the deal, and I was able to do this. So, in other words, he's justifying behavior. That's kind of like Bobby Knight supporters did for a number of years. They justified it. Look at the kids that graduate. Look at the championships that we won in 76 and 81 and 87. That justified his behavior. Scotty Burrell is saying, yes, Michael Jordan might have said some things but I won a championship. It, got me this job. I don't look at it like that. That's not how I am. But so hey, to each his own. I'm not here to tell Scotty Burrell how he should feel. He said he didn't feel in a certain type of way. It's just words, but it's hard for me to believe. I believe there are words that can be said that would get Scotty Burrell to act a certain way. I'm sure, I don't know if he's married, but if Michael Jordan would have said what he said to Scotty Burrell, someone called Scotty Burrell's wife that, I'm sure he'll have a different response. And then my response is, well, Scotty, it's just words. Shouldn't matter.
Okay. I have to say about Bobby Knight, he was a mean-spirited bully. He bullied the media. He bullied his staffers. He bullied NCAA executives. He bullied everybody around him, and it came across as loose screw kind of bullying. Michael Jordan was quote-unquote bullying. Go ahead.
Didn't he try to bully Jerry Krause? By saying, look, if you don't bring Phil back, I'm relieving. That's bullying. If you don't do this, I'm going to do that. That's bullying, Skip Bayless. You try to talk about it's mean-spirited. So that's bullying, right? And he wouldn't do interviews. I mean, think about it, Skip. The media ran.
It's motivating. This is what Scott Burrell is trying to tell you. I needed to be pushed. I believe all those players who were not very good, Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr was just okay, Will Perdue, Judd Buechler, they're just guys who needed to be pushed by the greatest player who ever stepped on a basketball court or any kind of playing field. And Scott Burrell is saying, I knew he liked me because I believe Michael did like him. He said, my family knew he liked me. He said his family watches the documentary like it's a sitcom. They get a kick out of it because they know what happened. They know Scotty Burrell responded greatly to it and that he had a huge game 3 at New Jersey in those playoffs, scored 23 in 24 minutes. He contributed because Michael toughened him up and made him into a contributor for a championship team. And Scott Burrell said, I hope that people don't think Michael was a tyrant because a majority of the players who played with him benefited hugely. They won rings. They got things after they were out of basketball. Scott Burrell says, I doubt I'd be the head coach at Southern Connecticut State University right now if not for my time with Michael. But when he was asked, well, can you coach your kids today the way Michael was pushing you? No, he said. You can't get away with it. He said, I would lose my job. Everything's a little softer today. Everything's a little more touchy-feely, PC. You can't operate the way Michael was allowed to operate within the confines of the Bulls. But Scott Burrell says, I could have asked for a trade. I could have quit, like a lot of people might have quit. And he said, that would not have made me a better player or a better basketball player. Michael did. He did. There was method to this madness.
Scotty Burrell wasn't scared. He had that one game. What you mean it made him a better player? It made him a better player for one game? You never heard of Scotty Burrell again.
That's all Michael needed.
It was one game.
One moment.
No, but
he needed little contributions from mediocre players.
Skip, Skip, that's the difference between Dan Reeves being tough on me my first 3 years, because I believe that helped me down the road, as opposed to someone being, but Dan didn't bully me. What Dan was telling me, said, well, Shannon, how can you remember all the raps, all the words to these songs? You know every song that comes on, but you gagging these plays.
Shannon, you're in the Hall of Fame. Help me out. Is Bill Winnington in the Hall? Is Scott Burrell?
No.
Is Will Perdue? Is Steve Kerr? Is Judd Buechler? These are just guys that Michael toughened up. They're not Hall of Fame bound players. He got, look at the guys I just showed you. He's winning championships with all those guys. They're just guys. Michael forged them in steel. He was tough on them. He ridiculed them. He made it hell for them. And they all rose up to levels that they'd never thought about reaching.
Skip, when you look at these guys, you look at them and you say, well, they're not very good, and maybe on the outside. But for the Bulls, it's kind of like the Patriots. When you look at the Patriots and you look at them, you're like, those are just guys. And probably so. But for that system, for what they're being asked to do, they're perfect. They're perfect for that system. Skip, at the end of the day, like I said, you can motivate all you want to. Clearly, you got some level of talent to reach that level. So you got to be somewhat talented. But let me ask you a question. The guys that are self-motivated, yeah, you might need a kickstart. Those are the guys that go on and be great, historically great, all-time great, Hall of Fame great. Scotty Burrell didn't have that in him, and Michael Jordan couldn't pull it out. He pulled it out for one game. But as a first-round draft pick, and all you got to say for your career is one game, and you was the brunt of a lot of trash talking as Michael Jordan, nah, that's not a good trade-off for me, bro. But that's just me. Scotty Burrell, all more power to you.
They still text. They're still friendly. I'm sorry. Everybody who was around him, in the end, they loved him.
Okay. All right, guys, I want to go here next. Is Mike Tyson really returning to the boxing ring? We got new video, and we'll talk about it next.